Speaking practice and common phrases are the true backbone of learning English fluently, because language is not meant to be memorized silently but spoken confidently in real situations, and many learners fail not because they lack knowledge, but because they lack regular speaking practice. When you practice speaking every day, even for a few minutes, your brain slowly adjusts to thinking in English instead of translating from your native language. And this mental shift is what separates fluent speakers from hesitant learners. Common phrases make this process easier because they are ready-made expressions that native speakers use naturally in daily life, such as greeting someone, starting a conversation, responding politely, asking questions, sharing opinions, or ending discussions smoothly. Phrases like, "How's it going? That sounds good. I'm not sure about that. Could you help me with this? Or let's talk about it later," are not complicated. But they are powerful because they help you sound natural and confident even when your vocabulary is limited. Speaking practice is not about speaking fast or using difficult words. It is about speaking clearly and comfortably. And common phrases give you that comfort by removing the pressure of creating sentences from scratch. Many learners make the mistake of focusing only on grammar rules and vocabulary lists, but when they try to speak, they freeze because they do not know how to connect words naturally, and this is where speaking practice using common phrases changes everything. When you repeat these phrases aloud every day, your pronunciation improves, your mouth becomes used to English sounds, and your confidence increases step by step. At first, you may feel shy or nervous, but consistent practice slowly removes fear, because confidence is built through repetition, not perfection. Speaking practice also helps you develop better listening skills, because when you speak more, you start recognizing patterns, tones, and sentence structures used by others, making conversations easier to follow. Common phrases act like building blocks that allow you to participate in conversations even if your English is not perfect, because communication is about understanding, not perfection. In real life, people do not judge you for small mistakes. They appreciate effort and clarity. And speaking practice trains you to focus on meaning instead of mistakes. When learners practice speaking alone, with friends, or even by talking to themselves, they strengthen their fluency muscles. And when common phrases are used repeatedly, they become automatic responses instead of forced sentences. This automatic use of language is what makes a speaker sound natural and relaxed. Speaking practice also teaches you how to manage conversations, such as how to interrupt politely, how to ask for clarification, how to agree or disagree respectfully, and how to express emotions like surprise, happiness, confusion, or disappointment using simple but effective phrases. Expressions like, "That's interesting. I didn't expect that. Can you say that again?" Or, "I totally agree with you," help you stay active in conversations without over time. These phrases become part of your daily speech, and you no longer need to pause or translate in your head. Another important benefit of speaking practice is that it helps you develop a natural rhythm and flow, which is more important than perfect grammar. Many learners speak grammatically correct English but still sound unnatural because they lack rhythm. And this problem is solved through constant speaking practice using real phrases instead of textbook sentences. Common phrases also teach you cultural communication, because language is not only about words, but about how people express ideas politely and appropriately. By practicing common phrases, you learn when to sound formal, when to sound casual, and how to adjust your tone depending on the situation. Speaking practice builds confidence not only in English but also in your personality, because when you can express yourself clearly, you feel more comfortable in social, professional, and academic situations. Whether you are speaking in meetings, interviews, presentations, or casual conversations, common phrases help you respond quickly and naturally. Many learners wait for the right time to start speaking, but the truth is that fluency comes from starting early and practicing regularly. Even with simple phrases, speaking practice also helps you overcome fear of making mistakes, because mistakes become learning tools instead of obstacles. When you speak often, you realize that mistakes are normal and temporary, and improvement comes naturally through use. Common phrases reduce hesitation because they give you a starting point, allowing conversations to flow smoothly. Over time, your brain stores these phrases as complete units instead of individual words, making your speech faster and more confident. Speaking practice also improves memory, because using language actively strengthens retention more than passive learning. When you speak, you engage your mind, voice, and emotions, creating stronger connections that help you remember words and phrases easily. Common phrases are especially helpful for beginners and intermediate learners because they provide structure and confidence, allowing learners to communicate effectively even with limited vocabulary. By practicing these phrases daily in different contexts, such as role-playing, shadowing videos, or repeating after native speakers, you develop a natural speaking style that sounds authentic and relaxed. Speaking practice also teaches you how to handle real-life situations, such as ordering food, making requests, expressing needs, or solving problems, using simple but effective language. Over time, your speaking becomes smoother, your pauses become shorter, and your confidence becomes stronger. Common phrases also help you sound polite and respectful, which is important in professional and social settings, because knowing what to say and how to say it builds trust and connection. Speaking practice transforms English from a subject into a skill, and common phrases act as shortcuts that help you communicate faster and more naturally. When you combine daily speaking practice with consistent use of common phrases, you create a powerful learning habit that leads to long-term fluency. The goal is not to speak perfect English, but to speak English that is clear, confident, and natural. And this goal is achieved through regular practice and repetition. With time, patience, and consistency, speaking practice turns hesitation into confidence, silence into expression, and common phrases into natural speech, allowing you to communicate freely and confidently in English in any situation.